Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and this is our sermon recap for Monday, October 9th, 2023. Here we go. This week we looked at Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 20. This passage is the Ten Commandments, at least the Exodus version of the Ten Commandments. Now, one of the things we learn from this text is that the Ten Commandments are the first covenant between a deity and people. I mean, we have that covenant of promise, if I will be your God, if you'll be my people. But this is really a written covenant between God and Israel. And this is something that was unusual at the time, beyond the fact in our faith we believe that the other gods of the ancient world were made up. But in the fact that God made that agreement with the people and directly specified what was the rule. This is the beginning of being a people of the book. And part of what makes it special is that, unlike other ancient treaties, which this would be like, the Ten Commandments focuses not only on the relationship, but the behavior. Even if we go back into Abraham and that covenant between God and Abraham, it was more of a, you will be my people if I will be your God sort of relationship. It didn't really specify behavior. But here, God has expectations of the people who are part of this covenant. And it really shows how much this is about the relationship, and that everything outside that relationship does impact it. And this is really because this is more than a legal document, but also a statement of faith. This is an expression of God's divine will, and in it, the divine will has both religious and social obligations. There's the faith component of keeping the Sabbath, one God, do not take the Lord's name in vain. But there's also other obligations about how we function in society. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not bear false witness. And what's clear about this is also that it's easy to understand what God wants from us. I mean, with the possible exception of honor thy father and mother, which leaves it open to how you do that, the Ten Commandments are laws that are simple and absolute. You get the thou shalt nots, if we want to use the King James language. And it says very clear, you shall not, or you shall. It's clear what God wants from us, or even what's important as we live our lives. Now, the thing is, at times, this is not easy. And that's part of life. I mean, there are times where things are easy to do, other times where it's harder. But that's where we have to remember that this is more than just a legal document with a set of rules or a statement of faith of who God is. Because sometimes those are just easier to follow as we check blocks. Instead, as we see with the expectations of behavior and really what God wants from us, we can see that we are upholding part of the covenant that has a far greater meaning, and that there is an effort to holding to the covenant, but it is worth the effort. So that's your recap for this week. Remember, we worship Saturday night at 6:30, Sunday morning at 10:45, and we live stream that Sunday morning service at 10:45 on the WSUMC Live Facebook page. And next Sunday is a special Sunday for the church, as we have a guest speaker coming. But until next time, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in worship.